But we have a caller that's been hanging on the line here. Let's go to our calls and see what's on the minds of our viewers. We're glad you called. Stanley from Oklahoma, you're up first. Welcome to RFD-TV Live with our friends from AGROTAIN.
Thank you, sir. My question is, a lot of us down here, we're dryland wheat farmers. A lot of the guys, I fertilize pretty heavy before I planted my wheat. A lot of them don't. A lot of them, you know, it's a money thing. In the spring, a lot of guys top dress. I do too. Do you think that, my question is, do you think that it would be wise to go ahead and top dress with dry fertilizer, or would it be better to go ahead with a aerial application of liquid fertilizer? And that is, that's my question.
All right, thanks for the call, Stanley.
Okay, I think I can help answer that. You know, you want to use a dry fertilizer or a liquid aerial application. You have to look at cost of application first and cost per unit of your nitrogen fertilizer, whether it be a liquid or a dry, you know, but you're top dressing your fertilizer. And when you do that, your liquid nitrogen, your 32% or 28, whatever you're using, is half urea as well, so it's subject to the same loss. So AGROTAIN stabilization needs to be there as well. So, you know, as far as product, which one you want to use, I'd have to look at cost per unit and whichever one fits you best.
And putting on, this is wheat that he's talking about there, and yes. What for the dry, either one of you, just the dry weather that he came through and others in Oklahoma. Of course, you know what it was like down there all year in Texas, Oklahoma. What about the over-the-top application or aerial application? That was part of his question as well. Any thoughts from any of you on that part of it?
Well, as far as the application of these products, you know, obviously you're subject to volatility no matter if you're in a dry. The wetter conditions will increase the volatility risk just because the moistening effect. But anytime you top dress and laying that nitrogen out on the surface, we definitely want to protect against the urease inhibitors. So AGROTAIN is a great fit there. Either way you do it, just kind of like Josh said, it's kind of a cost per unit type thing, which one works best, but they're both great ways as long as we keep that protected.
Mm-hmm. Craig, anything?
Broadcasting on top, we've been doing it for many years throughout Oklahoma, so it's nothing new.
All right. Again, thanks for the call. And if you'd like to join us with your question, our lines are open. Let's give you that number again to have you join us here and talk to our panelists before we have to say goodnight. 877-731-6733. I know your plans may be already done here as far as 2012, but what about your fertilizer program and a product that we have, the great line here with AGROTAIN? Love to hear from you, and maybe give us maybe a testimony. We've heard from these gentlemen, their customers. Maybe you're one of those, or someone who's had some success with our AGROTAIN products. I'd like to hear from you as well at that same number. Let's go to Georgia, our next call. Johnny, thanks for holding on. You're up next.
Yes, sir. We're getting ready to side dress the nitrogen in a few days on wheat, and we're going to use the urea. And a lot of times I put it out twice, the last week in January and about the 15th of February. Do you think using this product that it would last the 80, 85 days if I just put it out once? Will it not leach away? On our land, usually it'll leach away in about 60 days. Would that make it last 25 days longer?
The AGROTAIN stabilization product is, you know, I hate to put a day number on this because that makes it difficult. Environmental conditions drive this entire thing, so it's hard to say this product's going to last this long or that long. What we do know is that AGROTAIN is going to minimize the ammonia volatilization. And, you know, 85 days is a long time without rain, and I don't think you're going to make much of a crop if you don't get rain in that kind of a situation there. But the whole time when urea is converting to ammonium inside the soil, if we stabilize that with AGROTAIN, we're moving it down to the soil with a rainfall event, and it becomes ammonium unstable, so it's plant available. It can be taken up, so we really don't need to protect it for that long of a period of time. We might actually, if we try to protect it that long, cut it tied up consequently. So Hope that answers your question.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. Let's go to North Dakota. Bob, what's on your mind tonight?
Yes, thanks for the call back.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks.
We are springweed growers up here.
Yes, you are.
And the question is, can we spread our urea on the top of the ground? We're dry here also, and we won't do that, of course, till April or May. Can we put that fertilizer on the top of the ground with AGROTAIN and don't have to work it in and then seed right into that? Or another question is, could you put our urea on after the crop was up? Thanks.
All right. Thanks for calling, Bob.
The answer to that question, actually both questions, is absolutely. What AGROTAIN was developed for was surface applications of urea-based fertilizers. And if we're able to incorporate our urea, whether it be with a disc or a field cultivator or whatever it may be, or even rolling it up in a lot of my cases, if we could do that in a short period of time, we probably don't need to use AGROTAIN. But when we're surface applying in no-till situations, even after the crop is up, we're minimizing ammonia volatilization. So that's what AGROTAIN was developed for. And actually, no-till situations, AGROTAIN has won, I think, for the past 6 or 7 years, won the No-Till Farmer Fertility Product of the Year now. So, and that's obviously no-till is surface applied nitrogen.
Just had the no-till conference in St. Louis. That a lot of interest at the AGROTAIN booth. You have some wheat in your. We've had a lot of wheat questions. We can hear from the corn and soybean growers as well, Brendan. But anything to add to the caller there from North Dakota?
Well, just kind of bounce the same thing off that Josh did. Anytime we're surface applying nitrogen, we're still subject to the volatility. So, like you said, if we can incorporate it in a timely fashion, there really isn't much need for a product like AGROTAIN. But when we can go out there and apply it and have a window to get a rainfall event to incorporate it, that's what that product is developed for, and that's where that window fits into it.
Interesting, Craig. We listed the last two callers, one of them in Georgia, getting ready here in the next 25, 30 days or so, and our caller from North Dakota looking more, April and May. But but any thoughts you might have from our North Dakota caller? And they've got some dry weather up there too.
Dry weather there. It's interesting that he's questioning that there. I've worked in Western Canada for the past 7-8 years, developing and meeting the needs up there. And a lot of the guys with the technology have been able to go out and broadcast, as we do today, are broadcasting early in the spring so that they get it down. Some of it's being broadcast right over top of snow. And then once the snow is gone, they're out in the fields incorporating it in, and it's worked very well for them.